How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi. Welcome to another episode of Tier Talk. I just wanted to have this discussion with Russ Hamilton real quick. We do have a Tier Talk podcast, and we just want to give a little promotion to it, what the show's about, what makes it different than the Tier Talk YouTube channel. I do want to tell you that what we record on the Tier Talk podcast is exclusively for the Tier Talk podcast. We're not taking the audio from the YouTube channel and using it for the Tier Talk podcast. It's actually its own venue. Some of the differences are is we keep it into 1 hour. We devote ourselves to a specific topic. And also we have Russ as the co-host, which is great because we're able to give Russ Hamilton a chance to take the reins and take a little bit of control, which is great. And now that we have Russ here, I know he's eating a little bit because he's here on his break. But Russ, what do you think are some of the differences for you with the Tier Talk podcast and what we offer on the Tier Talk YouTube channel?
Well, the main difference for me is that during the podcast, I feel much freer to go ahead and eat or to scratch myself in any way that I deem necessary at the moment because there's no video associated with it. But other than that, I would say that, mostly it's just a matter of, I think I have a chance to kind of like set the tone on some things a little bit more. I think also there's a chance to, bring along the guests and, have them contribute where, it's not just me or just you, having to contribute to the conversation. On the Tier Talk side of it, when we do Tier Talk, of course, we have the video going. And, of course, that's nice. But then, I have to wear clothes and stuff like that. So it's not always, the best thing. Sometimes I just have to throw on a baseball hat or whatever to try and look somewhat semi-presentable. But anyway.
Well, you notice, Russ, that's why I never ask you to stand up on videos on YouTube. Because I'm afraid you got the shirt and everything going, but I'm afraid if you stand up, it's going to be nothing but boxers or something else.
Well, that's right. I'm fully against pants whenever possible. So anyway, yeah, death to pants. But
now, you'll notice that me and Russ, we've discussed a lot in the Tier Talk podcast. I believe we're up to 8 episodes. They get released every Friday. We've covered everything from tips from touring a dorm to what causes inmates to unite, working overnights, PTSD. I mean, we've done a lot in the 8 episodes. We do have more to come. What I like about the Tier Talk podcast, it seems to be that besides the fact that we get a lot of interaction from the audience, it's crazy the emails and messages I get from the Tier Talk podcast, but I feel that people listen to it more than once because it's downloaded for free. You could just download it, take the episodes with you, and if there's stuff that you take from it, you could re-listen to it again. I guess for some reason it's a lot more easier to have that downloaded file because I know a lot of places they don't have the Wi-Fi connection, so maybe they're able to bring something in where they're able to listen to the video listen to the audio in some type of secured setting. Again, they're not bringing in contraband. Maybe they bring it to the training center or maybe to their bosses and they get to listen to something over the computer because a lot of facilities do not allow staff to have connections to Wi-Fi. But I'm actually enjoying the podcast. I think it reaches out to a different audience and that it's starting to bring the audience back to either the Tier Talk YouTube channel or Keepers of Chaos Facebook page. Because remember, this is on a law enforcement platform. So the fact that we're doing it on this law enforcement platform, we are getting a different type of audience that's been involved in, let's say, the police side of things. And now they're starting to listen to our perspective. And Russ, that really feels good because ain't that what we've been trying to do?
Yeah, of course, it's always good to, try and showcase what correction skills are. We have our own unique set of things that we have to do. And, we're really in, really a concentrated type of environment where, it's not that you're able to necessarily look out for average everyday citizens. Everyone that we have contact with just about is a felon and most often a violent felon. And so, I think there's a lot of things that we can shed the light on even for, street level law enforcement who, they don't really spend any time behind the walls. They don't know what we go through. And I hope this is kind of enlightening for them because our little city that we patrol, everyone's a bad boy.
Well, what's also great about this? It seems like we get more people willing to come onto the podcast than we did the Tier Talk YouTube channel. Maybe because it's just the audio and it's not the video. But in the brief time we've been doing it, we've been having a lot of new guests that you haven't seen on the Tier Talk YouTube channel before. These were guests that, written into us saying, hey, we believe that we could give you something towards this topic, and we would like to see if we could be featured. So sometimes what we do is if me and Russ know of a topic beforehand, we'll send something out. And then if we're looking for guests, people will get back to us through email, and then we will interview them to see if we can put them on the show, just to make sure that, they're giving out really good information, and that, they're a good fit for the show, because we do have to make sure that we entertain people. And I think that's another thing that me and Russ have fun with now, besides the fact that it's more structured, figuring out the topics and figuring out this is something that, we can discuss on our own, or if we need to bring guests on. And sometimes we bring two guests. Usually it's one guest that I picked and one guest that Russ picks. And then we kind of just have this great dialogue where we focus on one guest at a time, but we try to get as much as we can for the audience who is particularly interested in that topic. Plus, if you want, you could also email us, or again, you have the Facebook page, Keepers of Chaos, Tier Talk. You could message us there, or even on Instagram. And if there's a topic you want to see covered, let us know. Let us know, and we'll see what we can do to put that topic on. Also, if you want to be a part of a topic, let us know as well, because we could always set up a Zoom conference and interview you. Russ, you have to admit, Russ, it's pretty fun interviewing people to come on the show.
Yeah, it's kind of a casting couch. If you what? Well, didn't mean to use that term. It's kind of a casting call, if you will. And people, they get out there, and we just hope that they'll be engaging, and they'll be able to bring something to the forum, and be able to express themselves and get things across. I think that it's a great chance for us to really shine in corrections, because there's a lot of talent out there. Now, finding people that are not only talented on the correction side, but that can show a little bit of talent on the broadcast side, that can be a little bit tricky, but we're having some good success with it.
Yes, and sometimes we may involve other agencies also in law enforcement, just to kind of do that crossover, because we do have a law enforcement venue. So sometimes if they may not be interested in corrections, they may see like, okay, they have a police officer on, I'll check out this episode, and then we wind up introducing them into corrections, and they wind up being a regular on the show. And I think that's worked out a couple of times for us, especially when we bring on Cody Cook, who is a retired police officer who has a different audience with her. But when they go to watch her and then they come and see what the show is about, we wind up getting a few of those who would normally not even check out what we have to offer. But again, the Tier Talk podcast gets released every Friday. We just did a bonus episode today about what causes inmates to unite. Again, it's fun. We get to have a lot of people come on. It's fun interaction. We record every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for a Friday release. It usually gets released around Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey, Russ, you have anything you want to say in closing about this wonderful Tier Talk podcast that you co-host?
Yeah, I want everyone to turn in and give it a try. And if you think that you'd be a good guest, get in contact with us. We're always looking for not just guests, but also topics. Sometimes we rack our brains, and, we have things sitting right in front of us that sometimes we don't even consider. And, we turn things into topics all the time just because, we haven't really thought of things from certain angles before. So even if you don't want to be a guest, man, give us a topic, and, we'll throw it out there. We'll chew it up in front of you. We'll dissect it, and maybe we'll come up with some better answers or solutions or implementations or something.
Yeah, and by the way, what's good about our show is not scripted. So we kind of just see where the dialogue goes. That's why we wind up going into a lot of uncharted water, if you will. I mean, that is true. We never really know where the conversation's going to go. We do have an idea, don't get me wrong. The idea is to make sure we can get the best information out there possible. And I think the Tier Talk YouTube channel does that very well. And I think the podcast is really doing that very well. We also get a lot of people from the civilian side that are enjoying the podcast, which is great. Because, again, I think it's great to give them an idea of our perspective on the correctional officer side, but also to get an understanding of their perspective. We've done shows about medical. That was very well. It's just very good dialogue that needs to happen. And I like how the fact it crosses over. So, if you're into the podcast, there's still a reason for you to subscribe to the Tier Talk YouTube channel, because the material's different. It's not same audio. It's different, and then vice versa. If you're on the Tier Talk YouTube channel, check out the podcast because the shows are different. They're not the same. As always, guys, the show is Tier Talk. If you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. Bell's gonna notify you every time I post a video. All right, guys, stay safe and see you. Well, I don't know if I'll see you, but don't forget to listen to us on the Tier Talk podcast. Stay safe.